Welcome to our QR video sequence. I am the owner here and one of the lead developers of this product. Hopefully we're going to teach you a little bit about building with a woody log building system. We appreciate you watching, and hopefully you're going to learn something about building your dream log cabin. Now that we have the subfascia on, again we're in phase 2, building the roof cavity or the roof overlay. The purlins were put up on the top, same as on the bottom. Those are merely resting or bearing points for our rafter. In this case, we only needed a purlin at the top and the bottom. On wider buildings, we may need a purlin down the center. So the pre-cut rafters that cut with the kit, those will fasten exactly to the layout, to the fascia and the purlins up on top. So those get tacked in. As soon as those are tacked in, we got to put hurricane clips on the bottom of the rafter. Again, that's code uplift. The blueprints will show you those, and basically that's a U-shaped clip that the rafter sits in, and it helps secure the rafter to the purlin. Again, remember the purlin is attached to the timber rafters. The rafters and the overlay rafters are attached to the purlin. Again, kind of technical stuff, trying to explain why we're doing what we're doing, because again, in the end, you got to comply with code. 10 years from now, you don't want your roof blown off. So whether you're building a woody log cabin, or you're building a home, or you're building any kind of a structure that requires a permit, we're not doing anything different than you would have to in those instances. But we've provided for all those things so that you can get building permits, the inspector can come, inspect, and so forth. So we have the rafter overlays on at this point. Now we're going to put hurricane clips on. Now hurricane clip is just a U shape or bent shape where this will tack into the purlin, and then this tacks into the rafter. These are sent along in your phase 2 kit with the necessary nails. You will have to nail this in all the holes according to code. That's kind of a new thing that these inspectors are looking for. So that hurricane clip will go on. We'll put them on in a little bit here. I want to insulate this roof, show you how we insulate it and where we insulate it. So we have some insulation that's pre-cut, and we can start on that. They're putting the last rafter on. This is called the fly rafter. The fly rafter is the last rafter on the building, or the rafter that makes up the overhang. Again, that's called the fly rafter. So we've held those back an inch and 7/16, or an inch and 9/16, so I'm sorry. So that fly rafter now will attach to the purlins and the subfascia that we have up there already. So we're finishing the rafter setup on the overlay that happens with most buildings in the northern part of the United States. This will constitute an R38 insulation when we're done. There are ways to get greater insulation if that's what you're looking for. R38 is general codes for most of the country. So again, the rafter overlay, 24 inches on center, typically is sufficient for most roof and snow loads. So we have loads. Loads are divided into two distinct areas called a dead load and a live load. A dead load is what the roof weighs, the actual weight of the roof, the shingles, the members, and so forth. Typically, that's about 20 pounds per square foot, dead load. We also have to worry about live load. Live load, it would be the snow load. So in northern areas, we have a house in Utah where that snow load is up in the 110, 120 pound square foot range. That's huge. In this area in Wisconsin, we're looking at about 30 pound snow load. So our total load is typically 40 to 50. That's generally the total load of the roof. So what we're putting on here has to be designed to accommodate that kind of a load. Those are code issues. We take care of those for you. The building is designed for that. So when you get the blueprints, they will all be designed, all labeled so that the building inspector will approve them. In some states, just a little thought on that, beyond the building permits is required engineering. In other words, a licensed engineer for that particular state. Let's say we were working in Colorado. In order for you to get a building permit in Colorado, you obviously have to get a building permit from the building inspector, the local guy, but also an engineer that stamps those plans, has gone through all the stuff that makes up the woody or a house or whatever you're building and stamps it. So he certifies it also. Kind of a double layer of bureaucracy. The good news is Cabintek, the woody product, we have engineers on staff that handle most of the states across our country. When we get in foreign countries, there's different codes that come about there. But so we want to let you know that regardless of where you're building, this building can be designed to meet those criteria, be it insulation, be it roof load, be it whatever has to happen in that particular locale. One locale we had fire issues, a lot of forest fires, so we had to protect it from fire. So to give you the confidence, when you team up with Cabintek, we're able to handle all of those things for you and guide you through that process. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've been entertained a little bit. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about the woody log building system. The reality is anybody can do it. We've given you a little bit of a helping hand through our QR series and our initiative. If you have any further questions, contact us at the information listed.